Okay, Susan Live here with a little bit of meal prep, and I wanted to walk you through what I'm doing. So this is the real deal. This is kind of how I am dressed today on this cold, snowy day. Um, Back around Thanksgiving, I bought two turkeys and I put one in the freezer. And now that it's January, we kind of have a taste for turkey again. So I took it out of the freezer a few days ago, and here it is all thawed. And then all I did was rinse it out really good, and I'm gonna rub it with this herbs and whatever, and I'll show you how do I do that. And then I'm gonna pop it in a roasting pan and put it in the oven. So it's gonna just sit here by the sink right now. What I also did, I'm actually gonna pick up my little camera here and show you. I am roasting, can you see it? Sorry. Right there is just a bunch of carrots and sweet potatoes all chunked up, and I just put olive oil, little salt and pepper, and some cinnamon on there. So those will roast for probably 20 minutes. So the next thing I'm going to do is pull out my my little recipe here. See, this is what happens when we go live. We're all over the place. So, but what you'll see from this is, meal prep isn't like all perfect, cooking show like they have on the Food Network where everything's all laid out in little dishes, right? This is like at home, you're a busy mom or whatever, professional, and you just want to get some healthy food in the fridge so it's at least a little bit convenient. And don't mind me, I did my workout this morning, so this is my hair today. I'll show you what I do too. This is kind of dorky, but I was always like collecting recipes forever, and I never really used to cook much, so they would just sit in boxes, but they always looked like, oh, maybe I'll make this someday. So I actually took about a week, probably a year ago, and I put them in categories and I put them in a 3-ring binder. So now at least when I want to find a recipe, I can kind of find it, and by doing that, I actually cook a lot more. It's a lot easier for me to find my old recipes. So I have a whole section in this notebook just for poultry, and I have all my chicken and turkey recipes in here. So here's an old one. It's like from a magazine that's almost yellow. It's so old. But it's really good, this rub. And if I need to, I will clean up the recipe. I'll like 21 day fix it. Switch out some ingredients, and I've experimented with a lot of them, and they usually come out fine. I mean, most of the time I can't even tell a difference. So a lot of that extra fat and salt and things like that that have always been in comfort food and classic recipes, you don't always need it. It really doesn't taste bad without it. So, okay, so we're gonna go ahead and mix up all the ingredients. It calls for fresh flat leaf parsley, which I don't have any on hand. I have dry parsley. So the rule of thumb I've always heard is for every unit of fresh, you do like a third of that amount for dried. So this is looking for a cup of flat leaf parsley. So I'm going to use about a third of a cup. So I'm just going to take the cover off and grab my measuring cups here. And this is a third of a cup, so we're going to start with that. That's actually kind of a lot of parsley, isn't it? So, here we go. And then it wants 2 garlic cloves, which I'll do that in a minute, and some shallots. And of course, being typical real mom, I have just a regular onion I'm going to use instead of a shallot. I know a shallot's going to taste better, but whatever. That's what I have right now. And it's looking for ground black pepper. It wants a whole tablespoon. That's kind of a lot. And I have just a grinder here, so I'm going to go ahead and grind this up. Okay, that pepper was a workout because I had to grind it, so I took my sweatshirt off. All right, next step is to put in the garlic cloves. So here it is. I'll go ahead and pick a couple of these off and just chop them up quick. I'm picking 2 big garlic cloves because we just love garlic in this family. Oh, we need to give another whack. My goodness. There. Okay, now it's really smushed. All right. Oh my gosh, I just love the smell of garlic even. Okay, let's take that little stem off, and we are just going to chop this up. You know, I have one of those garlic mincers. I don't know if you have one, but I never use it because, like, I spend more time trying to get all the garlic out of it that gets clogged up in the little holes than I do if I just chop it up like this. So, and I'm not doing it like totally perfect, just kind of like this small. Just keep going across. Get you the big chunks. There we go, and we're going to add this to the mix. All right, and then the shallot, which, like I told you, here it is, I have an onion, so that's what I'm going to use this time. But you probably want to use an actual shallot if you can get one, because they really do taste better than a plain old white onion. But it is what it is. So I'm just going to go ahead and chop it up, I guess. It says to put everything in a food processor. That probably would have been easier, but I'm going to make these into really small little chunks here. Get rid of that piece. All right. And then I'm just going to go the other way. So they're like little tiny pieces. There we go. Does not have to be fancy. This is a savory dish. This is not baking where everything has to be perfect, which is probably why I like it a lot better. Okay, and then 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Which, how did I lose my, here we go. My goodness, how did I lose my tablespoon already? All right, so here we go. There's 1, 2, and 3, and 1.5 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Okay, so we're going to just kind of shake that down in there. There's 1, and about 1/2 of that for the next, right about there. Okay, and the Herbe de Provence, which you can buy. I had actually mixed some, and I have just enough left in this container to use up. So I'm just going to go ahead and dump that all in there. It's about a tablespoon's worth. And then on top of that, it asks for 1/2 teaspoon of dried rosemary, which is this one, and a teaspoon of grated lemon peel rind. So here we go. Here is the rosemary in my little 1/2 teaspoon. Nothing like the smell of rosemary. Oh my goodness, I love it. And then a teaspoon, so that's going to be kind of hard to measure, right? It's just going to eyeball it. I just have one of these little graters. I use it for Parmesan cheese too, and here it is. I'm going to use it for the rind. The parts are gone. Now I'll have to put some lemon in my water so I don't waste it. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this in a food processor so it gets like into a paste, and then we're just going to rub it on the turkey and put it in the oven. So it's going to be super easy. I'll be right back when that paste is all made, okay? Okay, here we go. Okay, so we've got our paste, and I'm just going to clear a spot here so we can get the turkey ready. I'm going to get rid of the garbage. Here's my roasting pan. And here is the turkey. Let's stick right there. Okay, so I'm going to take this off. Actually, I don't want to lose a drop of this stuff. It smells heavenly. Dijon, lemon, herbs. Oh my gosh. This is the way to flavor up some poultry, so it's really interesting. Okay, so we're going to have that handy because, of course, my hands are going to start to get dirty now. So I had already rinsed the turkey. I'm just going to plop it in here. And then you just basically want to rub it, right? So I'm going to take this sharp thing out of here. Put that in the sink. And so you can see it's like a paste, and I'm just going to rub it all over the turkey and a little bit under the skin as well. So the flavor gets everywhere. Okay. It looks kind of gross, I know, but that's what cooking is, right? So we're going to go ahead and try to get under the skin a little bit and get some of that flavor to cook in there right on the meat. Now, one thing I am doing today that I'm kind of cheating on, that this recipe calls for, and a lot of marinades call for, is to let it sit overnight, which I don't have time for. I need to have this done for dinner tonight. So I'm just going to go ahead and cook it like this. But if you're watching this and you can prepare ahead of time, plan actually a day ahead, do this and then cook it the next day, your flavors will be like 1,000 times better than these are going to come out tonight. Okay, so we are all set. I cleared the decks here. I've got the turkey. You see it's got the green herb marinade on it. And we're just going to pop it in the oven. You just want to cook it for about an hour and a half. You just want to make sure the thigh, which is kind of a dark meat section, registers to like 170. That way you know it's safe. We didn't stuff it at all. So as an option, you can always stick a couple of sticks of celery and carrots, maybe onions in there. Or even if you have twigs of sage or rosemary, you can always slap that inside the cavity real loosely. And the flavors will come out during the cooking, but it won't hinder the inside of the turkey cooking. So like I said, about an hour and a half. This is kind of a smaller size turkey, but the 170 degrees on the thigh is really your standard for making sure it's thoroughly cooked and safe. And then that's it. You have a roasted turkey. It's like one of the easiest meats to make. I have much better luck with turkey than I do steak. I'm not very good on the grill. So that's it for our meal prep. Stay tuned. I would love for you to join me in this journey. We are just busy moms and professionals that are trying to eat healthier because we just know that nutrition is the key to good health, and it's the key to losing weight if that's what you want to do, or gaining strength, or just having more energy and getting the most out of life. So join me, team 121. That's ONE, the number 2, and then WON. And what that means is we all just take one step at a time. Sometimes those steps are big, sometimes they're small. It's okay. We just don't want anyone getting overwhelmed by the many, many steps that it takes to be successful. We just sort of lock arms and we take one step at a time. And really, when you just focus on that, as long as you're going in the right direction, you know, before you know it, you're going to open your eyes and you're going to look back and you're going to see how far you've come. And you're going to say, I won. So 1, 2, 1. We're going to win this battle. We're going to live a life by design, and we're going to have fun doing it. So I would love for you to join us. You can find me on Facebook.